Hi, I'm Brad Knowles, producer of Friday Night Flies, hosted by Scott LeBoldus and Scotty Holmes. Enjoy the show.
Take it away, Scotty. It's Friday night.
Friday Night Flies, yeah, here we are in Pemberton, doing Friday Night Flies. So we got young Ethan in the house, and he's experimenting with some stonefly patterns, and he's brought a great one in. It's called the rocket stonefly. Yep. You can't hear his nodding, but he's going, so yeah, he brought out his first attempt at it, and then we're like, hey, you know what? We can do a little tweaking there and get you on the path to success. And
Actually, we can even show his first attempt at it, and then we'll show him how to tie properly.
So down below there on the split screen, over on the side,
So right now you
can see
that's a stonefly.
Your classic stonefly.
Yeah.
And here, throw your nymph up here. So Ethan's done a really good job. So the rocket one is a marabou-tailed stonefly. And he's done a real good job with the goose biot, or not the goose biots, but the turkey quill feather for the back. This vise doesn't rotate, but you can see them popping up on this guy. Yeah. We'll just turn it. So that's a pretty classic material used for the wing case of a stonefly. And you see them like this one has the 3, which is autonomically correct to a stonefly. And you do see a lot of them like Ethan's that just have the 2. Personally,
The Friday Night Flies.
It's a lot easier to tie. But what we were going to work on today was just proportions. So he's got a great sample pattern. And then what we're going to do is just tie up a little bit of different things to get those characteristics going proper and to get his stonefly marketable.
Yeah, you know what? I was talking to Ethan. I said, hey, no one better to show you than this guy. He's like a bird that eats nothing but stoneflies. So, Scotty, let's get to it, buddy. What are we starting with
I'm
here?
on a diet of all stonefly.
He's like
So
a stonefly-eating bird.
the one thing with stoneflies, which is really good, is Daiichi uses these curved caddis hooks, or these curved shanked hooks. You can see that's what a lot of your stonefly patterns are done on. They look a lot better on a curved one. It looks a lot more natural than just a straight shaft. Straight shaft, you know, you're starting to look like a woolly bugger.
So that's the 1260, right?
When it's moving, it's looking more like a minnow pattern, but that curve really gives that stonefly look to it. Have we gone down yet? Let's go down there.
Yeah, let's go down there.
And we'll get to her. So we got about a size 10. You know, stoneflies can get pretty big. You've seen them up to about 2 inches in some rivers. On average, they're between 1 inch to 2. So I went right in the middle with this guy. And keeping true to Ethan's theme here with the marabou tail of this particular pattern, I'm going to do a marabou tailed one. So we got a bead on there, appropriate size for the hook. And we got our thread on. Next, I am going to put my ribbing in. So there it has gone. So that's another very good defining feature of a stonefly is the segmentation. So you definitely want to have a rib or use vinyl ribbing, which is a great product, or liquid lace, something that's going to give you the definition of the segments on that body that you are looking for. So I'm going to get my ribbing in here, which just happens to be some copper wire. It was what was handy, so that's what we're using. And now let's put this marabou tail in here. So this tail, this is where you're going to be starting your features of the stonefly. So the stonefly back end after the abdomen, I guess the bulk body of it, is usually about 2 times the length of the abdomen area where the wing casings are. So this tail part is pretty important. So if we break down our fly, if my wing casing and body is going to be, say, half the hook, I'm going to make sure that this continues out that other half. So I have 2 times the length on that back end. Too long and it's going to start looking like a woolly bugger. So yeah, that's about half there. So I'm going to get this on the back. I used about 1 feather. I don't want to make it too thick either. but also don't want it to be too sparse. So we're going to get a couple nice ties in there.
So what you're trying to say is just right.
It's got to be just right. And I'm going to do a nice one underneath that tail. Maybe I'm going to do that twice if I can get my feathers out of here. So I'm going to do this twice. That's going to help keep that tail up and from getting looped underneath that hook. Now what I'm going to do to help build that profile is I'm going to bring this right up to the bead. Snip it off right behind there. Alrighty. Evenly just kind of wrap up so that you get all this material on that stonefly. Yes, you can actually take those materials and wrap it all the way up, but we're not going to do that this time. So I got that excess material on there. If you so wish, you can put a little bit of a flash in the tail. I'm not going to. I'm opting out right now. You know, some days the flash is good, and other days the flash is not so good. So usually on patterns like this where you have flash in the tail, I'll do variations of both. The same fly, but on some of them I'll put the flash in, on some of them I won't. On a big sunny day, I find the flash looks uncharacteristic. If there's big heavy cloud cover, there's not really stuff shining down there. So make it muted. Go a little bit darker with your pattern. Get that silhouette. Alright, so we got some sort of brown dubbing here that I'm going to build the body with. I'm going to be trying to pack it on there pretty tightly. This looks like a mix of synthetic and seal. It was a no-name pack, but I like the color. It's a nice reddy brown.
Yeah, seal dubbing. That's what that was.
Yeah. So remember, stoneflies do have a pretty good girth on their to them. They're not a skinny bug. That's why trout like them. They are a mouthful. As you're going, if you need to, tighten up your dubbing. So remember what we said, we were going about halfway, so I'm about a turn or two away from that spot there. I just want to kind of have that, make sure that profile is right. So we have a slight taper down in there, and then we're going to finish this body off with the ribbing. You can counter wrap. So with the ribbing, you want to start off pretty tight or close together, and as you move up, you're gradually just getting them a little wider as you move up. There we go. Get that off of there. Alright, so now the decision becomes, do you put legs on it? Now the original one is using goose biots as legs. You could also use a rubber leg, but we'll go with the original style. I myself like to use the goose biots.
Well, that's a fresh pack too, right?
I know,
there,
I just felt that. So we got some nice dark brown goose biot here. Superfly, nice. Superfly. Brown. So we're going to take two of these guys, and what I usually do when I get a fresh pack is I want to get rid of,
zip your jacket open just a little bit. You're doing black on here, so
yeah, that's all black too.
Yeah. So Reddington whore, there you are.
So when I get a new one, I usually just kind of get rid of this little tail so that I can get to those nice long ones. Get in there. My scissors, get rid of that little bit. Alright, so off this stem, 2 biots. Let's see, did I get 2? I got 2. I'm going to separate them, put them back to back so that the curvature is going out. Oh, lost one. Come on, biots. Come to daddy.
Come to daddy.
And as you move up that biot shaft, they start working a little better because they're also longer and thicker for you to use. Alright, so I got my 2 biots back to back, so the curve is going out. I'm going to get one on each side. Now the hind leg is a little bit longer than all the rest of them. I usually make it so it's coming pretty close to the back where that tail piece is. Have them on a downward angle, pinch them both, and lock them down. And really get that thread worked right back to where you finished with the dubbing, so that as you get them closer to that dubbing, they're going to splay out. Get rid of your 2 tags. Go back to your dubbing. So when you're doing these cases and stuff, it's a bit of work. You gotta get all your layers just right so everything works. So we got our legs in. Go back to our dubbing. Put the dubbing right on top of each other. You don't want to be winding forward. Going right on top in front of those legs. Pulling this dubbing nice and tight as we go. There we are. Now, I didn't happen to have any turkey feather, but I got these nice window pieces here, so I'm going to use that. So I've already set this up. I put Superfly clear lacquer head cement on them, so that glues these fibers all together. Ethan had a good tip. He puts a bit of tape on the bottom that holds them together, so that allows you to cut the shape out of the feather. So what I'm going to be doing is going one side, cutting into the middle, other side cutting into the middle. I'll show you what we got. So we've cut a little V in, and then we do again for the size of the case. Cut it again. Alright, so you can see we're cutting out a little wing case here. Another material to use would be fish skin. I use that quite a bit. Scud back, that's another one you can use. Alright, so you end up with this little airplane looking thing. We're going to tie that in on the back. So make sure it's not too wide. Just need to trim the one side down a little bit, pull a couple of those feathers off so that they're evenly shaped. This is another reason why people opt to go from 2 to 3 or from 3 down to 2, because these guys are some work. Alright. Bingo. Alright, so I got my little wing case here. I'll put it right on the back and make it so it's just coming, so those points are just coming past where I've tied in those legs. Trap it with your finger. A couple wraps over top. Looking good. Back to dubbing. And dub right in there. A little bit more. So as you go forward, this thorax that you're creating needs to get thicker than the body that you've had in the back. So at this point here, my dubbing is going to get definitely a lot bigger, a little bit more buggy. So if I'm looking down on my fly, my thorax that I'm building is about twice the thickness of this part of my fly here. So we got one in, and we go back to the legs again. And repeat. 2 goose biots, if we can grab them. One, 2. Same thing, we're going to go back to back. If I can get them. Alright, we got them back to back. Slide them in on either side, downward angle. Now these ones you want coming to about almost to where you've just past where you've tied in the first ones. Trap them with your fingers. Tie them down. Work that thread back again to that dubbing that you've done. Get rid of your trim. And again, we go back to dubbing. Remember, we're going thicker every time we're moving forward towards that bead.
Getting a fat head on that sucker.
Yeah. Alright, so you can see, you know, I've pulled that dubbing back. I'm going to get a couple nice tight loops in front of it. Where did my window go? And then we're going to make another piece here.
Are you doing the triple tonight, or are you doing a double?
Just a double.
Oh, he's going with the double. Double.
So you've already got the back taper in there, so just get the front one. Boom. And then I'm going to make sure it's not too wide. So if I hold it up to my fly, you can see the one side's really, really big. So I'm taking it and I'm trimming off the side.
I really like those church windows for your case.
Yeah, it
Or your
has
shelf.
that same molted effect that the turkey does, right?
Oh, it's sexy, man.
Alright. So a little bit more of an angle on one than I do the other. Just get these evened off a little bit. Perfectionist, you know. Alright. So I'm liking that. And again, you're getting it in so that it's just, here, I'll try and do this sideways for a second. So this V needs to just hit the bottom of the other one that's exposed. Let's see if I can grab it. Getting close. Yep, I grabbed the tip there. We're going to tighten her down, work those threads backwards. You see, I got that top one's just a little long. I'm going to trim on the fly here. It's a little wide. How's this guy looking? Yep, I'll get rid of some of that. And in there. Bingo.
Zingo.
Alright, back to our dubbing.
You got a piece of that feather stuck on the outside of
On the fly.
camera side, yeah.
Okay.
You don't want to wrap that in.
Oh, this guy?
Yeah.
There we go.
There.
So we're going to finish it off. You know what? We'll do 3. We're going to do the one little.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew you weren't going to let that rest with 2. Because you were going to go home and you were going to feel like a funny bird that ate something that probably shouldn't have eaten. That wasn't a stonefly. It only had 2 on its back.
2. Alright, so build this up again. Get my thread by that bead. I got enough.
Just.
I just made it. There.
So that was pheasant, or yeah, church window, wasn't it?
Yeah, pheasant church windows.
Yeah, that was a fresh pack that I hadn't even used yet.
I think it's
Scott.
pheasant.
Yeah.
Yeah, ringneck pheasant church windows. I christened it for you.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, it's
You
for
broke
Ethan.
the seal.
It's for Ethan.
Yeah, it's for Ethan. It's
So
for
this
good
last one, I usually do it a little bit smaller than the other ones. And by smaller, I mean a little thinner this way. Cut your V. Again, get it right on top.
Oh, no, that made the fly, man. I'm telling you. Right there.
Trap it right behind that bead. Get rid of that little extra piece. Bingo. Alright, so you got your 3. If you wanted to, you could hit it with a little different color UV behind the head or something. I'm going to just keep it all going the same color here. And that's their pattern, so they don't put any antenna on theirs. You could if you wanted to. It is a big characteristic of the stonefly. But that right there is pretty close to their original pattern. So you can see Ethan opted to put some antennas on there. If you are going to put antennas on a stonefly, ooh, earthquake, it'll settle down, are very long. The antennas are almost the whole length of their upper body. So maybe I'll stick some on here. It's a pretty prominent feature of the stonefly. So I'm going to get those things with the curvature going on here. So I'm making them curve up. I'm going to put them right on top. I'm going to get my length. So that's about my length. So I'm just going to crisscross these guys. So that crisscross intersection is where I want to be tying them in. Bingo. Couple good turns in there. I'm going to get rid of that. And no whip finisher today.
Straight on top here.
It's alright, we'll get her.
You want it?
Yeah, sure.
It's right here.
Might as well. It's a nice one. We'll give it to Ethan to fish. There should be. So,
Ethan, you're a lucky man.
I'm a lucky man.
Yeah.
so I put a little half hitch underneath those eyes, and then I'm just going to do that whip finish nice and easy, right? Or underneath the biots, I'm going to do that whip finish right on top of them. Finish it with a drop of cement.
This is where you get to see how good my coffee is tonight, guys.
Always.
And was it strong? It wasn't too bad tonight, eh, Scotty?
So,
Was it a 1-cup night or was that a 2-cup night?
the 1-cup night. I used to have my I keep trying to rotate it.
Yeah.
And I got a couple of drops of that nice Superfly lacquer head cement in
Yeah,
there.
that stuff just sucks right in.
And it
What
sucks
we
right
should do
through,
is
yeah.
just pop her out and we'll do a
So-
little shot of the back.
So you see now, so now you're starting to get your characteristics of your stonefly. You got your segmentation, you got your biots. So that was the main thing we were talking with Ethan, was his tail was a little long for the size of his body. So you see, by just adjusting that tail length, we've changed the look of that fly drastically.
And putting that little bit of a bend in it, like with that curved caddis hook, that makes a big difference too.
Yep. So
Look at that thing. Man, it looks like
those church windows worked pretty good, yeah.
they really do. That pops. It looks really good.
So there we go. There's a stonefly variant for you guys.
Here, hold it nice and steady there on its back for me. I need a thumbnail. Let's see a little bit of a fake smile there, Scotty. There we go. We got our snapshot. Okay, we're gonna go back up top there. People are gonna think you were really happy that night.
That's all right.
Okay, we're back up
I'm always
top.
really happy. Anyways, so that's Boulder with Friday Night Flies with a variant on the, what's it called again, Ethan?
Rocket stonefly.
The Rocket Stonefly. Try them up, tie them up, get out there and experiment. Keep on tying.